I hate this.
Lovely.
Did you guys see
It's
Space Capsule Man?
No, I missed it.
Yeah, it was cool. It was perfect. I mean, they predicted the time that
Do we really? April 1st?
All right, Tuesday, March 18th, 2025, City of Hannibal Council meeting. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilman Haycraft.
here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson.
Here.
Councilman Cohen.
Here.
Councilman Phillips.
Here.
Councilman Fleetwood.
Here.
Councilman Munger.
Here.
And Mayor Lauderman.
Here. There being a quorum present, I'll call the meeting to order. I could get Councilman Munger to do the invocation, please.
Lord, we just come before you and we ask you to give us wisdom and guidance in this meeting. Lord, we ask you to bless this community, keep us safe in everything that we do tonight. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I need approval of the agenda tonight, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And I need approval of minutes for the regularly scheduled council meeting on March 4th, closed sessions on November 5th, 19th, February 6th, and February 18th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need approval of payroll and claims first half of March.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, public comments. Darrell McCoy.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Darrell McCoy, for those of you that don't know me. I just have a quick question for you. It's been about a month since the council agreed to tackle the raises with the fire department. I know there was a lot of things that was involved with that. I know that staffing levels were a big problem as far as closing the station in Huckleberry Park. I believe, after talking with Chief Nyson, that we have hired some more employees and we're in the process of onboarding them, which is great to hear. Also great and appreciative of you all for your commitment to public safety and to getting the firefighters the much deserved raises that they needed. My question to you tonight is, where do we stand with the closure of the Huckleberry Park fire station? And do we have a plan moving forward on when we could see that open back up to help protect life and property in the Oakwood area, as well as make sure we don't jeopardize our ISO rating?
So I talked to the chief when we were discussing the best way to go about a raise, and we talked extensively about two. I am of the opinion that we leave that up to the fire department and the admin as to when they feel is best to reopen it. I know they want to get all the new people that they're hiring trained fully before they restaff it. Just don't want to staff it with newbies and then all of a sudden have to close it again. So I would say probably in the next 6 months, at the latest, it'll probably be reopened. But once again, that's up to the fire admin and their training to get that going. It will be reopened.
Okay. Yep. And I assume that obviously that you guys are working with Chief Nyson and his team on that. So.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sarah?
Again, I broke my usual and do not have notes for exact verbiage, but they're short. This is just to remind people of the City Candidate Forum next Monday, March 24th at the American Legion. Dinner is available from 5:45 on. It's not expensive. The forum starts at 6:30. Last week I got a text from somebody asking why there was one Monday evening and then the following day on Tuesday. I would point out that they're very different events. The Conservative Club, and by the way, the only reason we do this is because nobody else does. Somebody else wants to sponsor one, that would be fine. The Monday evening will offer more opportunity for conversation, for exchange of thought. The chamber helpfully offers a chance for people to get faces with names and a little bit of a bio, but that's all. So they're very different events. So please keep it in mind. Please come if you have concerns. This is the place to discuss them. Thank you.
Sarah, what time was that again?
5:45 on Monday. The forum starts at 6:30.
Sarah? Right here.
Sorry, sir.
I know you said that it's basically a get to know the candidate, a meet and greet. Will there be a moderator there?
Yes, there will be a moderator.
And will there be any,
Yes, I
would
think
there be
so.
any questions, specific questions that each candidate will
There
be
are a few
asked?
topics I can honestly tell you. There are a few topics I can honestly tell you. I'm not sure that I know them all, but I think somebody will reach out to you before then.
Very good.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. April?
I feel like this podium needs to be just a little bit taller. Melissa, can I so. Oh, it's okay. I know the budget is coming up and was wondering when the timeline is for the budget, and will there be any workshops for the public to attend and or participate in?
Budget is, so between now and July, they'll be doing some workshops, I know, with present council and then also with newly elected council and mayor.
I was just wondering if there was any for like the public to attend or and or participate in. I wasn't for sure, that's why I figured I'd ask.
So any of the budget workshops will be,
Okay, and
put
those
out in the
are
public
posted
and
on the
people can-
website?
Yep, people can come to it.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the Senate bill not pass?
For the public safety tax,
Mhm.
it did pass as far as I know.
866, I think it was.
866 is
I thought it was dead in the water tonight.
yeah, that bill's not moving forward. There is a Senate bill, there's Senate bill, that was a House bill. Both House bills, I believe, are not moving forward. The Senate bill 104, I believe, is moving forward. We'll have to see if it gets out and gets approved to go to the governor.
So, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but the one that we were hoping was going to pass that had come
It
about
never
for
even made it to the Senate.
dead in the water. So now you're saying
And we
there's
had-
104 that is on now.
I believe we attached ourselves to a,
So
One that was already
hypothetically
in
speaking,
Senate, yeah.
if that doesn't pass, where are we at with that? With especially with like the fire department and the raises that we just.
honestly, I cannot answer you that. I would have to discuss it with council to see which way. There's, as we talked about this earlier, we talked about, of course, the public safety tax. We talked about maybe looking at a real estate tax in Hannibal, which hasn't been raised since 1973. And we also have a little wiggle room and a sales tax if we wanted to go that route.
Okay.
It's it is a
I
quandary.
guess in my mind, when you guys were like discussing the potential raises and then ultimately decided to pull from the reserve, did we know what impact for the fire department and the police's raises that would have on the budget?
Absolutely.
You guys were aware of the impact it would have.
Sure. That's why we discussed it and decided how we decided.
Okay, so with the impact to the budget and where it would put our city bond, what, and hypothetically, again speaking, this other bill does not pass, what happens to the city? Where are we at with our budget then?
Well, we're still running on a deficit. We still have money in reserve.
Yeah, but our reserve essentially plummeted because of the raises.
It absolutely did.
Wasn't it like a little over 600,000
Absolutely.
with the raises? And that was just to kind of get us by in hopes that
It
the
is
bill would
still next
pass.
year. Yeah. In
So
hopes
wouldn't
this
that put
passes.
us even more in a deficit?
It would. But this is pretty much what people wanted and what we needed to do to keep things moving.
Was the alternative not to give the raises and lose more firefighters?
I don't think that was an alternative, but just like I was asking 2 meetings ago, I was wondering if there was any cost-saving measures, like even discussed or like even options to like kind of entertain.
We will be discussing different things with the new budget where we can save money. And if you come to those meetings, you understand that. It's not just something that we're just going to keep flying by night. It's when we decided to do this, and I'll take the hit on it. I told them that this is something we needed to do, and unlike the last one where they gave the raise and it was a wing and a prayer and nothing happened, I advised that we take it out of reserves and pay for it now so that it was done,
So
that we didn't have to worry about down the road if nothing happens. This gives us a year, 2 years to get things.
So in the
back
last
in
year,
line.
I've kind of like started educating myself and reading up on the city budget, and I did schedule a meeting with Lisa, or call today to get a meeting scheduled to kind of educate myself with the budget.
Sure.
But again, correct me if I'm wrong, but when we're pulling money from the reserve, that significantly, especially with the amount with the
Absolutely
raises,
does.
plummets the city's bond, which
It does and it doesn't. Right now, our bond is pretty steady. I don't see it impacting it heavily at the moment. In 2 years, it could if we don't self-correct.
$600,000+ is a lot of money, and that would be either a lot
It
of
is, but
positions to cut or.
We had a pretty good bond rating to start with, so I'm sure that
But
between
even
this
after
council
even
and-
after this raise, it still is like it's still at a good rating.
I think it's. I don't think it. It doesn't change. It didn't damage us.
It went up.
So
Does it have to be at a certain like percentage per city for like as far as like bond
It
ratings?
should be. We would like
Is
to
it like
keep it at
30%,
a certain.
25%, or
We would like to keep it at a certain. I believe it's like 20 or 25%. But as far as our
and with the impact of the
reserve.
raises, we're still like
yes,
at that.
yep, and we will come up with ways to save money.
$600,000 worth.
Figure it out.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Katie.
So, I am here on behalf of Java Jive tonight to request a street closure for Saturday, April 26th, to celebrate Java Jive's 25th anniversary. We're doing an event that morning called Coffee with the Community. We're just wanting to close the block in front of Java Jive off from 8 to noon. I'm renting tables to go down the center of the street so that we can do a giant community coffee gathering that morning. We're also giving out free coffee during that time, and it's the same day as the citywide cleanup, so I've already talked to Mary Lynn. I'm going to have her come down and kind of do an announcement on the PA so that we can kind of tie in with that too. Not free pastries, but in the afternoon we're doing free ice cream.
If there's no free pastry.
We got to make money somehow.
Katie, our paperwork, it says 7. Is it 8 or is it 7?
Oh, and sorry, the request starts at 7 a.m. just so that we can get set up. We're posting the event is starting at 8 a.m., but we'll start setting the tables up at 7 a.m. and wouldn't be able to get set up.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Mayor,
Yes.
before you move forward, I just want to bring a couple things to your attention. I'm sure you looked over it, but the police did have some concerns with some safety risk with the table set up in the roadway and only having the light barricades. So I just want to make sure you was aware of that.
Okay, I hadn't seen that note.
And no reason not to proceed, he said, as long as you're aware of the potential dangers that there will just be no light barricades. And we need the certificate of insurance, and then fire had just asked that the access was left.
Say that again.
Access for vehicles,
Oh,
but if you
yes.
have the light barricades, they will.
Yeah, yeah. And I double checked with my insurance and they sent me the certificate. I was supposed to send that over, so it's covered. I just need to get that to you.
I'll amend my motion to say that pending insurance.
Okay, perfect.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There you go.
All right, thank you
Thank
guys.
you, Katie.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Free pastry.
Under me, I have reappointment to the Hannibal Housing Authority for Chad Collier. It's a second reading. I'll need a motion to approve on that.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. And then also second reading, Michael Holliday reappointment to the Hannibal Municipal Assistance Corporation, term to expire June of 2027.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Melissa?
Yes. Mayor, I just have one thing for you and the council, and this does not need any action by the council. This is just a notice that we did have our annual loss prevention evaluation results. And January 10th, MIRMA is our city's insurance. That provides all of our self-insurance, our property, our casualty, our liability, our workman's compensation carrier. They conduct a comprehensive risk management safety evaluation and audit of the city. And aside from enhancing overall employee safety, higher evaluation scores do impact the amount the city is assessed for our annual premiums. Our 2024 evaluation was conducted on January the 10th, and we did receive a 100% perfect, achieving 1,250 points out of the possible 1,250 points. This is a pretty good accomplishment for a city our size. It is absolutely a true testament to the employees, the department heads, the safety teams, things like that. I do want to thank the employees, the members of the Executive Safety Committee, apologize to the department heads for me being mean to them during department head meetings, saying, get us that paperwork now. The safety coordinator, Britta Dooley, done an amazing job. I can't say enough good about how well she does at keeping track of our information and hunting down the information and compiling the information. So it is a collaboration of all the city employees and staff that makes this possible. This count, and it is a lot of work, a lot of very detailed. You're talking everything, vehicle inspections to driving, to drug testing, to everything in between, to every crack in a park sidewalk, to the marina, everything in between. So
Awesome.
it's a huge accomplishment for all. So I'm really
Great
proud of
job.
them.
Congratulations to all.
Congratulations and a big thank you for everyone involved.
Just one quick question. That was, that evaluation, was that calendar year 2024?
Yes, so he will be back next January, and they do the year prior, so it would have been for 2024. He did it in 2025, but it would have been 2024. We compile all the information through the year, all the safety meetings, all the safety training, all of the inspections, the drug testing, all that. So we compile in 1 year, and the beginning of the next year, they come and they do the evaluation, and then our premiums will come in May, and we'll pay them in June for this year, but our premiums will be based on 2024's evaluation.
Awesome.
Well, that's good news indeed to have a perfect score. That's going to impact our premiums in a good way. Well, then my hat's off to everyone involved.
Clerk's office.
Awesome.
Melissa, who heads up the committee?
I am the the official executive safety, but I'll be honest with you, Andy is very involved. He does a lot. Everybody really, every department head or every safety coordinator in the different departments, all of them are just instrumental in making sure we're staying on top of our safety training and making sure the inspections are done, making sure the paperwork is done, which is the worst part of it. So I'll be honest, it goes well behind me. Andy's very involved, does a lot of meetings. I feel like I can't be there. Britta does a great job. Lisa does a great job. Like it really is.
It's a group effort.
Effort on behalf of the staff.
Super. Awesome.
Well, please make sure everybody that's involved gets a great big thank you. We appreciate it.
Make sure they go down Saturday for free pastries.
pastries,
Jive
yes.
Jive.
We'll buy coffee for them Saturday morning.
That's it. To reward you.
All right. Lisa.
Okay, good evening. I have before you tonight the approval of appointment of Hunter Haynes for a term to expire in June of 2027 for Planning and Zoning Commission. And I do need a vote.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Go. Excellent. Jacob.
Wow.
Good evening. I'm obviously not Jacob. He couldn't be here tonight, so he asked me to appear. I believe he included in his letter the fact that due to some ongoing hardware and software evolutions, we're increasing the amount of computers we have. And currently, our officers, our personnel all have access to an Exchange account, which is essentially their email software. And we license Office software for each of our computers. Going forward, Microsoft isn't going to allow that anymore. So we're going to need to transfer to an Office 365 account system, which would give each person their access to the whole Office suite. So it'd be like Word, Excel, Teams, and all of that jazz. But we currently are spending about $9,000 a year. That would increase it to about $17,800. We would like to get a 3-year contract signed going forward with that.
Okay.
Is this an entirely new contract, or is this an extension or a continuation contract?
No, this would be a new contract. The software is different than what we are currently using. It's the same company, but just a different software suite.
Is there any other options more cost effective? Just curious. I have no idea. I'm
Looking back here at our
no,
IT guys.
that's I kind of what I thought the answer was, but I had to ask. Yep. It's pretty taxing. Yeah.
That's kind of been how the whole purchase system has gone for much of the equipment software we have now. It's a lot of it's subscription and lease-based stuff, so it's kind of where we're forced.
Okay. There's a resolution 2540-25 to follow, and it's an amended resolution. There was a mix-up on the address. It'll have to be approved.
Was this included, or can it be compensated for in the budget?
Yes, currently, I believe the chief told me that it's already compensated for this year, and then going forward, he's amended his potential budget to include the increase in cost.
Okay, good deal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jessica.
Hello.
Jessica?
All right, I've got the super exciting thing about increasing bid limits. Annually, per the charter, the council is supposed to increase the bid limits. In best practice in the past, we've used the National All Urban Consumers Table of Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Consumer Price Index. In the last year, the Consumer Price Index has gone up 3%, so we have to, of course, increase all of our bid limits to go along with it. These bid limits, I can give individual amounts, but they're changed based on personal property, building, heavy equipment, and service contracts. And anybody that falls below those limits does not have to go out and get quotes, but if they go above, they do need to provide those. I believe it's actually under 1,000 for most of it. And as usual, in the case of an emergency, council can waive the bidding requirements. That's really it. It's pretty boring.
So this is just a procedural.
Yes, this happens yearly. I think I presented the last year's too. So.
And you said it could be overridden in an emergency?
So this has happened in the past. I think it happened maybe with fire or police. In case of an emergency, if they need something urgently, they can come to council and ask for approval.
That's
So it's
where I
happened
was
in the
going.
past, but yeah.
All right, very good. Oversight.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
All right.
Mike, thank you.
Here to ask council to set a public hearing date of April 1st for a planning and zoning issue from Habitat for Humanity. Stems from a zoning request that will be in front of P&Z the meeting prior to
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thanks, Mike. Maria?
Good evening. How are you guys?
How are you today?
Good. I'm here about kind of a cool opportunity. So the Marion Rawls Regional Port Authority covers two counties, and we received a Brownfield Coalition grant that allows us to do Phase 1 and Phase 2 brownfield assessments within the two counties. Those are for like stereotypical blighted properties, vacant commercial, things like that, that gives people the opportunity to have someone come in, look, see if there is chance of an environmental contaminant, and then we have money also to do some of the follow-up where we would do things like asbestos testing and lead paint testing and things like that. So really the purpose of the grant is to take some properties that we're not seeing a lot of movement on and kind of clear them for development, maybe take out some of the uncertainty that we see with, developing these properties because there's chances of asbestos and lead paint. Okay, so that's kind of the background on the grant. Another portion of the grant is that we are going to go ahead and do a survey of our communities, so Hannibal, Palmyra, West Quincy, New London, and basically do a driving survey and say, just by sight, what are some properties that may be blighted, to create an inventory of, hey, here's some target properties to do some of these assessments. Obviously, that will include Hannibal, and we will largely be doing the entirety of Hannibal, but because of its size, we would like to do a pedestrian survey for a portion of the city. I believe in your packet you do have a map that shows the area of that pedestrian survey where we'd actually have someone on foot walking through a portion of the city saying, hey, this building looks like it could be derelict or it could be vacant. Maybe this is something that we should assess. Before we have someone do that, I wanted to come speak with you all and let you know, and then additionally kind of get your input on whether you felt that this area it is the best use of that pedestrian foot survey, basically. So for the audience, just so they're aware, this is largely downtown Broadway, Church and Lions Street, up to Grand, so that sort of area.
Not St.
Maria?
Elizabeth.
We can talk about that.
Maria, will our own city inspector, Mr. McCarg, would he be involved as part of that?
If you all would like him to talk. Okay.
He will not. No. That's already been.
Yeah. There's no real role for him in this, and I'm sorry, I just got the letter last week that was in the information that you sent out. So I'm a little bit confused on it. So is this being done for the city? Like, who's going to be the repository of getting this information on these properties?
So I think we would share that information with you all. So
we don't own any of the properties, right?
Right. So for us to do an assessment on any of these properties, we have to have someone sign off that owns that property.
Right.
So if we take this inventory and it seems like, XYZ address looks like a good site, we would have to go find that property owner and say, hey, would you like to have this assessed because we think it could help you move towards redevelopment? So it's largely, we have the grant, so we're facilitating that, but we can involve the city as much or as little as the city would like.
Would there be city-owned properties that would are available now?
The city-owned properties that would be in that corridor would be the federal building, pretty much. And we already have a lot of information on St. Elizabeth's. It's further down the road, but I mean, we have the phase 1 done on it. We have a remediation plan.
So this is kind of similar, would be a phase 1 step on, okay, that
Yeah.
we already have, okay.
But
We also have money for, so the nice thing about this is the phase 1 is the first step. If we do identify a potential for a contaminant, we can do the next step. And then we also have site cleanup planning. So like what Lisa's talking about, remediation planning, we can also come up with those plans as well too. But largely it's going to be the assessments, so.
There's plans for remediation planning, but no funds for remediation itself.
Yes, so those are separate opportunities. This is largely a planning and an inventorying sort of grant. It can set you up for.
So that plan, does that go to the homeowner then, so they know what to do to fix it up?
And I will say this is primarily for commercial and industrial, but yes, that property owner would get that. So the reason that the EPA does this, obviously their motivation is to remediate any contaminants, but it's also a great redevelopment tool because it gives you some sort of document for a property that provides a little bit of investigation into what is going on in that property. And so if you are interested in redeveloping it, you have that, so you can make your choice on, hey, this is what we think we're going to have to do. So,
Maria,
can somebody elect to offer their property as a target?
absolutely. So my goal is, after I speak with you all and make all of the councils and commissions aware that we're doing this, we have a public website, and we're going to put out a press release asking private property owners if they have a site that they'd like to have assessed.
So Maria, what is it is there any ask from the city on this?
I think my ask today would be to look at this, and it says it in the memo I sent over, but to look at this and tell me if you feel that's the best use. We want your input as the public body, the city council, to say, hey, we think this is the best use. Obviously, the city the best, and so we want you to weigh in on this and make sure that this is what you'd like to see. So,
I personally think it's a good opportunity for some of those properties that have been neglected, or it wouldn't be structural? Could they put structural in there, or is this strictly contaminants?
Contaminants.
Yeah. So it is contaminant driven. They do like a lot of historical review. So what has the property been in the past? What's it been used for? Things like that. So that's how you often find that there might be trouble with contaminants is, if it was formerly a gas station, if it was formerly a laundromat, things like that. So
as far as deciding what public corridor, how did you decide on it?
So I have some context being here in Hannibal, so I was able to kind of tell them. I think a lot of it is just building age as well too, like what's the oldest parts of the town and things like that.
If you're, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here. So if you're looking for Brownsfield, so potential contaminants and stuff like that. If you're looking at Lion Church, Broadway, Main Street, that there's really not that much in that area that falls in that. But there are other areas, whereas Warren Barrett, for instance, Market, several of those places would be a better fit
for sure
for that.
Yep, and so we do have Warren Barrett on here until about Grand, but we don't have a lot of Market. So if that's an area that you would like to add, we'd be glad to do it.
Definitely, because Market from Grand to basically 61, there are several older gas station, filling station places that were along there that would possibly be a better fit for that type of situation. Whereas Church and Lion and Broadway and Main Street, they've already been I mean, that's already been identified, you know, such as the parking lot across here where the Werco station used to be, and a couple places that have already been identified and fixed and under that thing, whereas, you know, if it were something to do with structural issues or something like that, I can see that.
Sure.
But as far as like brownfield issues where contaminants and stuff, there's really not a lot in that area. Whereas if you moved farther out onto Market, even farther out on Warren Barrett, you're going to find more places.
That's perfect. Thank you. That's the input that I was looking for, and we will readjust this so that is covered by more of the pedestrian foot survey. We will do a drive, like the geologist and the engineers will do a driving survey of the whole city, but I think doing the pedestrian survey of Market is a great idea, so we can do that.
I am curious if you do on this foot survey, or any other type of survey, you do come across a bad or a very, you know, a troublesome property, is that going to trigger an EPA action?
No. So there's no there's no responsibility to act. There's no, like, you're not on a financial hook if something is found.
Right,
It
like
is
a radon or something
right.
threatening.
Yep. What it does is it just provides a document that you have that you can use if you want to, but there's no obligation to do so.
We could use the findings for our own application, for our own remedy.
We welcome that. That's kind of the goal here, would be to give property owners the ability to just have more knowledge and seek that remediation on the road to cleaning up, even though some of these buildings, you know, they're not necessarily like not operational, they just need a little, you know, so.
Will you be letting the property owners know that whatever the findings are from this, they are then obligated to disclose if they're selling the property?
Yes, and we can.
Because they need to know that
Yep,
when
so-
they're making a determination.
Yeah, so before we can ever go on the site, they have to fill out a form that lists the whole process and everything, so that they're educated to what they're getting into, basically, for sure.
A single location also, there's none others in the area, but on the south side, the old gas station across from Stoll School, I don't know how much of that has been done in the past, but it's just one single location in that area.
Yeah, that's another reason I kind of wanted to come before you all today. You have a lot more of the historical knowledge and the awareness of some of these properties. I've had the pleasure of being in Hannibal for a few years, but there's a lot of things that have come and gone prior to me being here, and you all are sometimes my best knowledge base for things like that. So please email me if you do have examples like that. I have been calling a few people and asking, but largely, you know, we want as much input as we can get.
What's this time frame? When do you expect this to start, or when are you taking applications? Or
Yeah, so we can take properties whenever. We have money for 23 phase ones, so that's quite a few. The site pedestrian survey, they're looking at doing it beginning of April, but we can start filling out eligibilities for properties whenever. We have through September of 2027 to spend the money.
all right, thank you.
Thanks, Maria.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you guys.
Yep. All right, moving on, we have resolution number 2540-25 as amended with the address change. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a $53,378.55 contract between the City of Hannibal and SHI Incorporated for a 3-year service contract for Microsoft services. Councilman Haycraft,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Yes.
Councilman Cohen,
Yes.
Councilman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Fleetwood,
Yes.
Councilman Munger,
Yes.
Mayor Lauderman.
Yes. I declare resolution 2540-25 duly approved and adopted on this day. Now I need a motion to go into closed session in accordance with RSMO 610.0213 and 13. I need myself, city council, city manager, city attorney, city clerk, and Andy Dorian, central services director.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Councilman Haycraft,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dawson.
Yes.
Councilman Cohen.
Yes.
Councilman Phillips.
Yes.
Councilman Fleetwood.
Yes.
Councilman Munger.
Yes.
And Mayor Lyman.
Yes.